This is how I made an album, and this is how it took me 6 years to finally release it. It all started in 2017, 3 years since I had started my music production journey in 2014. I was listening to a song called The Rest Is Noise by Jamie XX. The amount of details, the contrast, the piano, the automation in drums, like you can make them fade in, fade out, that was not common in pop music. The main elements inspired me to create Reason. An emotional piano build-up to create contrast, a choir of my voice. I recorded a metal box in my house and put some house drums. You know, the syncopation and automation in scenes really was a big inspiration for me. I really love to record some sounds from my life and put them in the background. In 2018, the idea of making an album was starting to kick my mind. I was still really unsure how to do that. A flutist friend from the conservatory came to my house and we came up with this melody. While she was here, I recorded an ukulele that I bought in Chile. After she left, I spent 3 days like crazy finishing this song. I recorded some sounds like smashing my keys on my desk and found some sounds like I really wanted to recreate the burial Foley sound. A high-pitched synth that sounds like a taiko sound. My voice drowned in reverb. And finally some taiko drums. For years it got lost in my music folder. Okay, so I had 2 decent songs. What's next? My flutist friend recorded some long samples for me. I chopped them in Ableton Simpler. I use Reaper most of the time, but I really love Ableton Simpler. I wanted to make a down-tempo song, so I recorded a metal box, a cassette, and some coins. The build-up was not good, so I ditched the song. By now I had a lot of wannabe songs, so I knew I wanted to make an album, but how do I make one?
How do I think of a concept? How do I match levels? What's loops? And why does it matter for mastering, for Spotify? Oh, it turns out it doesn't matter. How do I make an artwork? But you know, that's not the problem.
The problem is, how do I finish these songs? You know that feeling when you open a project, you have an idea, you make a loop, oh, this is the best idea ever, and that's it. It never gets finished. It ends in a folder, in your computer, lost forever and ever, and what's art if you can't share it? So I made an album, but I didn't like it, and the song you are listening got lost in those tracks. I'm such a perfectionist in my whole life, that's why I can't finish songs. Then COVID came, and you know, now I have time to make music, but I have anxiety. What's digital illustration? So yeah, during COVID I couldn't make music. I was not inspired, I was stressed, so I learned the basics of digital illustration. I was studying architecture by the time, so I learned about architecture illustration, watched tons of tutorials as usual, and bang! I like this thing, maybe I want to be an illustrator. I mean, I can't even draw a straight line in pen and paper, but who cares, I can do whatever I want. 2022. COVID sort of managed. I'm already an architect. I work a full-time job, so I have lots of loops, so let's finish them. I'm tired. I'm going to watch tons of tutorials on how to finish songs. Remembered that Ableton project I exported to Reaper. I remade Build Up, my favorite part on the whole album. I put a random sample with beat distortion and a low pass filter. I got inspired and put tons of organic arpeggios. And my voice. So I remade a song from a remix competition run by OC in 2019. The result was weird, but I really loved the lead sample. A charango sample with distortion. I loved Crywolf and Aurora, so I made this big sound, like a ritual of moving forward. I finally had a theme, a concept, rituals, organic, field recordings, sound collage. This is it. Fun fact, it's in a 432. I'm a big fan of Burial, the UK garage myth. The typical Burial bass transformed in something else. I was inspired by an old recording of a friend. I recorded those vocals and pitched them up. Me playing with the play rate. And I started to get obsessed with these tribal African loops. And finally I finished the last song. And this is where all the dots started to connect. The prelude combines ethereal forest and a song that didn't make it to the album. I recorded sounds from a construction in my house. That's it. I mixed them, I mastered them, or just put a limiter on the master and called it mastering. And finally, at the end of 2022, I finished the album. You know that time I didn't make music because of COVID? Well, I learned a lot. I knew I wanted to make a collage for the artworks. Sometimes I will use pictures from the public domain. I will use AI for some ideas and I will illustrate them over. It was worth it. I did it. I finished it. And it only took me 5 years of my life. Just like that. So simple.